For some reason, I thought that rollerblading, after maybe 20 years of not doing it, with no protection whatsoever, is a good idea. So I jacked up my wrist. Let's get into today's video. What's up everybody, Izmir here, and today we're going to talk about cymbals. So after I did the video with how to choose your first or next pedal, the feedback was quite good, so I decided I might just continue doing videos like this and help you guys out, those of you who are wondering what the differences are, why professional cymbals are so expensive, what to choose, what's your level, what you need, whatever. So I can safely say that I've been through pretty much all kinds of cymbals, from the very beginner ones to the high-end ones to the professional lines, and I have a lot of impressions. I have, experience with that. So let's talk about it today. So let's say you want to buy your first cymbals, or you're using some kind of cymbals and you don't really know why you're using them, or should you upgrade to something better, etc. So let's start off with that. Cymbals are with different alloys. So the most beginner cymbals are made out of brass. A lot of stuff is made out of brass, and in some personal accessories and luxurious items it's pretty neat. But in terms of cymbals, brass is actually the worst kind of material because it's very brittle. So I've had a lot of brass cymbals in the past because it's cheap, it's very affordable, and but this is deceiving because yeah, it is affordable, but it breaks like shit. So I've got a ton of brass cymbals broken in my old cymbal bag, but I don't really know what to do with them. So all the cymbals, depending on their alloy, have a certain color tint to them. So the brass ones are kind of greenish, and this is a very accurate representation of a brass cymbal. First, because of the color, you can see it's pretty greeny. I don't know if this will be visible in when I color the video, but it's kind of greeny, and as you can see, it's very easily breakable, and it's a china. It's almost mandatory that you're gonna break your china. But yeah, I've got a hi-hat, I've got a ride, I've broken a ton of crashes which were brass. And not only they're brittle, but they actually sound horrible. And actually I don't recommend buying brass cymbals to pretty much anyone. So if you're on a budget, if you're in the very beginning, you don't have to spend a fortune, you don't need professional cymbals, but please don't buy brass. It's awful. Better save up a little bit more, because the price difference between the brass lines and the a little bit better bronze lines is not so big. So better, wait a couple of months, save up just a little bit more money, and buy yourself some bronze cymbals. I'm going to show you all the lines here. I've got cymbals representing, kind of the three stages, the three levels. So this is the lowest one, and it sucks. Okay, don't buy brass. Horrible. Next up is the most popular. Shut up. Is the most popular alloy among beginner to average to intermediate drummers, which are on a budget, like I am. And I've used the bronze cymbals, the B8s. They're still called B8s, and I'm gonna explain why. For the longest time, so I've been able to play professional line cymbals in the last year. So most of my experience is with B8s. So what is B8s, B10, B20, etc.? So bronze is an alloy, which means it's made out of two or more metals fused together. And there are different percentages, different levels of each metal. So depending on the proportions and the percentages of the metals in this alloy, it will give certain characteristics to your cymbal. So B8 means that it's 92% copper, or copper, I don't know how it's pronounced, and 8% tin. Now, well, if you've been to school, you know that bronze is made out of copper and tin. So I don't know if there are anything else might be inside besides these two metals, but they are the majority of what's happening inside your cymbal. So B8 means 8% tin, 92% copper or something. So this means that the cymbals are very durable because they have a higher percentage of copper in them. And I've actually the first bronze cymbals, and I had full set feisty PST5s, the rock set, and man, I've beaten the shit out of them. Not a single hairline scratch, not a single dent, nothing. They were just like brand new, and I beat the crap out of them. And you know, I'm a heavy hitter, you can see it in my videos, but they sound, well, they're not for recordings. So let me show you a representation of a B8 cymbal. This is a feisty PST7 B8 cymbal, and arguably this is the best affordable B8 out there. So feisty are probably the company that's using B8 the best, and even their professional lines like 2002, which is, you know, world famous, is actually a B8 cymbal. But you know, B8s have this certain metallic sound. They're really bright. They're really with a really long sustain. And if you like that, that's awesome. But it's just not my sound. And I've used them. They're really durable, and it's just budget friendly. And I've used them, you know, for the past like 2 years, and they're just unbreakable. And this is actually a thin crash, and let me tell you, it's not really thin. So even though it's a thin crash and I've hit it like thousands of times, it's immaculate. It's absolutely nothing. It's perfect, in perfect condition, but it doesn't sound as good. So who is this cymbal for? Who is this alloy for, and these kinds of cymbals? So this is for beginners, people who are on a budget, of course, people who are still learning drums, who don't have their dynamics in check yet, who are, you know, hitting way too hard or something, or people who are educating. If you have a lot of students and you don't really care that much about your sound of your cymbals, and you just want to teach them and, you know, practice on something that's not gonna break as easily as the brass, this is the perfect choice. And also, these are great for live because they're loud as fuck. On live shows, nobody really cares about the quality of your cymbals, and, you know, the sound in live shows is dependent on so many things. So even if you're with a professional gear, it's arguably that you're going to get the greatest of sound. So for live, this is great because you can be a showman, you can hit them like a motherfucker, you can just abuse them, and even if they break, who cares? They're affordable. So B8 is a great choice if you're a live player, you're a teacher, you're somebody who's still learning, or you're just on a budget and just affording quality cymbals is still not an option. Which leads us to the next popular alloy, and that's B10. Well, it's not that popular, it's more like a minor thing, I guess. And B10, again, B10 means 10% tin, 90% copper or something. And B10 are kind of the middle ground between B20 and B8. So B10 are better sounding than B8. They are still very durable because of that. And You know, actually my China is Meinl Extreme Classics Custom Extreme Metal, which is B10. It's 16 inch. And as you can see, you know, China's take a lot of beating out of me. And it's still holding up. It's actually been already a year since I've been using it, and you know, awesome sound, very loud. It's actually pretty thick, and I wasn't expecting such a great sound out of such a thick cymbal. But B10 is a great upgrade to B8 if you're not able to jump straight to B20. B10s are awesome. Meinl Classics Custom, you know, the Dark series, the Extreme series, awesome. Very, very good choice, and it's for more intermediate to semi-professional drummers. If you're doing YouTube videos, if you're you know, playing live, if you want to have a recording which is, you know, like a self-titled budget recording, bedroom stuff, they're pretty great actually. Yeah, I just forgot to mention in terms of color, because as I said, brass is kind of greeny, so B8s are very reddish. I don't know, again, if that's going to be easily seen once I don't know, you tell me. But they are pretty reddish, like browny stuff. If you compare both, shut up, you'll see that the B8 is a lot in the red spectrum than the brass ones. And the B10s are kind of yellowy, so the more you know, this is a whole nother thing. But in terms of bronze, the bigger the quality, the bigger the percentage of tin, the yellowish tint of the cymbals. So this, okay, let me show you. So this is my China B10, as I told you. Brilliant finish, just a gorgeous cymbal. So the more tin percentage and the less copper, the yellowy it looks. I'm just trying not to blind you with all the reflections. I don't know if you can actually see something. Yeah. So so B8 more on the red, B10 kind of yellowy, and we're getting to the professional line, B20. So all the professional cymbals, all the good cymbals, are in some variation a B20 cymbal, which means 20% tin and 80% copper. And some of the high-end series even have some percentage of silver and stuff like this in them, because it's not just for luxury. It adds to the sound value and to the you know, sound characteristics of the cymbal itself. So what does it look like? This right here is my old hi-hat, and this is Sabian AX 13-inch accelerator hi-hat. And as you can see, it's a lot more kind of yellowy, a little bit like gray, maybe because of the 1% or something silver inside. And don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But as you can see, it's very different in terms of color. In terms of sound, I'm not even gonna start comparing them, but just in terms of color, let me show you. So again, B8, B20, big difference. B20, these are pretty expensive, and AX is more like the standard B20, like so AX, A Custom by Zildjian, Meinl Byzance, brilliant finish, stuff like that. And as I said, they're professional. They have a bunch of different applications. You can use them for studio recordings, you can use them live. Some cymbals are more on the studio side, other cymbals are a lot more on the live side. But this is pretty, I don't know, middle ground. So it's just standard, always good type of thing. And who is it for? Well, professionals. People who really want to have a good quality cymbal, people who want to have a great sound, they want to record this. Yeah, it's professional tool. In summary, let's repeat some of the stuff. Brass, no fucking way. Just don't buy brass. If you're on a budget, if you're a student, if you're a teacher, or you're somebody who's just starting playing drums or doesn't really care much about great sound, B8 is your go. PST5, Sabian B8X, or PST7s by Paiste, all great choices. Meinl MCS, or I think it's now HCS, I don't know. But pretty much every company has a B8 variant, but in terms of B8s, I think Paiste are just the best. You get the most bang for your buck. If you want to upgrade a little bit, go B10, Meinl Customs. Doesn't matter if it's classic customs, extreme customs, the dark customs, whatever. They're all great cymbals. And if you are going professional, if you want to have quality recordings, if you just want to use like the very best tools for your trade, B20s. So I hope this video is educational enough. I hope this will help you in choosing your next cymbals or your first cymbals. These things are expensive, like even the brass stuff. If you look at it, like, this is just a round piece of metal which is pretty thin, and it costs a lot. But yeah, that stuff is expensive, so better don't do my mistakes as I did in the beginning. Don't go for the cheapest ones, because you're going to buy better ones eventually, and it will be sooner than you think. So, if you like that video, if you like this channel, if you're enjoying it and you got something out of it, let me know in the description below. Let me know in the comment section below. What is your opinion on that? Should I continue making videos like this? What do you want me to cover next? If you want to support me, if you want to help me do all this and help me grow, you can do so by checking the links in the description below. You can become my patron. We've got, weekly votes about what my next reaction or my next tutorial video is going to be. And yeah, I got a merch store, pretty cool. You can get a hat, beanie, shirts, hoodie. We've got everything. If not, please consider just subscribing, sharing, liking. It really helps. Yeah, it's 2 seconds out of your time, but it's a great deal for me. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.